Good afternoon and welcome to the Revenue Cycle Truth Podcast. My name is Josh Bierling and I'll be your host today. And today I wanted to do something a little different and provide a brief update that will hopefully help CFO and managed care executives. Now, this update has to do with something which I think is often overlooked but is extremely important, and it's contract negotiations. And the reason these are so important is because contracts and policies now, which there are a ton of policies, are essentially the lifeblood of the hospital and or insurance company. And it's no secret that there's historical low operating margins right now. And in this present time, you have to make sure that you're modeling accurate. And I would say probably I would not be surprised if 90+% of hospitals were not modeling accurate today. They were not doing it correctly. They're doing more high-level analysis, and those days are over. If you want to be outdated, if you want to have low operating margins and you don't want to increase your revenue, then go ahead and do that. But that is not how you should be modeling for contract negotiations. So I'm going to provide some tips here to be able to help a hospital or a payer be able to model accurately and include every single detail. So tip number one is, you have to be sure that you load every single calculation into your system, whether you have a homegrown system or vendor system. If they can't do that calculation, that's a problem. That means your model is going to be affected. That means you're going to have less revenue, and that means you're not going to have an advantage in terms of your revenue. So that includes some of the more complex calcs like the new COPS pricing, which is the commercial APC version of contracting, based on the Medicare mix of contracting. COPS is complicated, but you have to be able to load all these different calculations, including more complex bundling calculations or EAPG. Every single calculation has to be able to be accounted for. Tip number two, which is equally important, is that you're actually, for that payer who you're doing a contract with, or for that hospital who the payer is doing a contract with, you have to be able to take last year's relevant claims and marry them to those policies and to those contract terms. So you need to take the entire claim set from last year that is relevant and marry those to the contract calculations and the contract terms. If you cannot do that, that is a problem. You are going to be losing a lot of money, and your hospital is just going to be seriously affected. No longer should hospitals be acting like archaic, old school, working with abacuses. They need to use the more modern technology to be able to do this. So tip number two is be able to marry an entire year's claims of that payer with the calculations. So hopefully this helps. There's a couple quick and easy tips for you to incorporate into your contract negotiations to ensure you maximize your revenue and you're not held victim to these low operating margins, or you're able to fight these higher costs that are happening because of staffing and things like that. So this is something that a hospital can do right now and could add several $1 million. And for the bigger systems, we're talking several millions in revenue and in pricing. So hope this helps, and thank you very much and have a great day.